Fans, ich bin Sammy Steigert, Pitcher der deutschen Nationalmannschaft. Vielen Dank für eure Unterstützung und teilt und liked weiterhin alle Beiträge des Fanclubs Baseball Deutschlands. Und nicht vergessen, wir leben Baseball.
Welcome to Bonn for the first in the best-of-3 semifinals contest between your Bonn Capitals and Paderborn Untouchables. Hey, my name is Brent Kerrigan, and I'm happy to be here in the booth with Angela Backman, Max Paulus, and Felix Hauke, who will be bringing you the game for today. And what an exciting game we have for you. Bonn won their first series against the Dorn Wild Farmers last weekend by a wide margin, but they face a tougher challenge against Paderborn, who finished second place in the division with a 10-4 record. Of course, Bonn finished their season a perfect 14-0. But this is a new game. In a pair of matchups in June, Bonn won the two-game set 8-3 and 11-10. Now, the last game was a bit of a squeaker. The winner of this game goes on to the finals. It should be a tough battle, so settle in. Sasha Koch is on the hill for Bonn. Patrick Harrison is on the hill for Paderborn. This is going to be a great pitching matchup, and we look forward to it. But before we do any of that, to kick things off, we've put together a special pregame interview for you, and here it is.
Ja, Max Schmitz, Headcoach der Bonn Capitals. Das Halbfinale steht bevor. Wie bereitest du die Mannschaft darauf vor?
Ja, es ist eine Mischung aus Routine und Routinearbeit, viele Schwünge reinbekommen, viele defensive Reps, aber auch natürlich die Spannung hochhalten, den Pace hochhalten, sodass wir da mit Paderborn mithalten können.
Gibt ja auch noch mal ein paar Stellschrauben, die man am letzten Wochenende gesehen hat, ne?
Ja, absolut. Defensiv müssen wir unser Spiel auf jeden Fall verbessern. Da müssen wir besser in der Defense stehen, weniger Fehler und weniger Runs zulassen. Ganz eindeutig machen wir es unseren Pitchern leichter. Offensiv, denke ich, sind wir durch die Bank stark. Wir kennen unsere Stärken und werden aber auch da gewisse Adjustments machen müssen.
Was erwartest du von Paderborn? Die haben sich im Laufe der Saison gesteigert.
Ja, Paderborn ist auf jeden Fall, glaube ich, nicht mehr das Team, was es war, als wir sie hier zweimal geschlagen haben. Ich denke, die sind auf jeden Fall stark einzuschätzen, haben sich gerade offensiv nochmal verstärkt und auch mit einem Import-Pitcher. Das heißt, ein wesentlich balancierteres Team. mit einer tieferen Line-Up. Deshalb darf man die als Gegner im Halbfinale auf jeden Fall nicht unterschätzen.
Dass ihr diese neuen Spieler nicht kennt, ist das ein Nachteil?
Nee, wir kennen die. Die haben auch schon gegen uns gespielt.
So.
Das war das allererste Wochenende. Dass die zu den Paderborn Untouchables dazugekommen sind, mit Sicherheit auch nicht ohne Grund. Aber also wir kennen die und wir haben die schon mal gesehen, aber wir wissen eben auch, dass die sehr stark sind.
Was erwartest du von den Zuschauern?
Ja, ich hoffe, dass die uns natürlich enorm unterstützen. Ich hoffe, dass sie so zahlreich wie möglich, wie die Corona-Bestimmungen das eben zulassen, kommen und die Mannschaft lautstark ins Finale schreien.
Gucken wir mal in den Süden. Heidenheim-Regensburg ist eine enge Kiste. Wie siehst du das Weitere da?
Ja, klar schielt man mit einem Auge auch mal in den Süden. Sind mit Sicherheit zwei gute Teams, die da aufeinandertreffen im Halbfinale und sich auch wie im Vorjahr ein Battle leisten. Ja, wie das ausgeht, weiß keiner. Ist aber auch zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt erstmal uninteressant.
Ich wollte gerade sagen, wahrscheinlich ist es euch egal, gegen wen ihr im Finale spielt, wenn ihr denn das Finale erreicht.
Das ist mir ziemlich egal. Ja.
Und das ist das Ziel, das Finale erreichen.
Absolut.
Alles klar, vielen Dank. Ciao.
All right, and a great interview with Max Schmitz as usual with Angela. And as Max Schmitz was saying, we have a very interesting series coming up. Now the umpires out on the field getting ready for today's game. You see the pitchers coming in from the the bullpens. And the fans are here today as their Bonn Capitals take the field. These are the players that will be playing in the lineup, and let's go over that lineup right now. We may get interrupted. I believe there might be something happening down on the field which will need our attention. We'll break away when we need to for that. But let's get through the Caps lineup right now. Leading things off is your player of the week for the Bundesliga, Eric Brank, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. He's playing his usual position of shortstop. Joe Wittig is playing third base today. He's batting second. Vinny Aaron's behind the plate. Cleanup hitter is Terrell Joyce. He's in center field. Daniel Lamb Hunt, first base. Wilson Lee, way out there in left field. Danny Lankhorst in the opposite field and right. Number 8 hitter, Nick Michelli. He's the DH. And Eddie Stummel rounds things off, and he's at second base. Let's go through the lineup now for the Paderborn Untouchables. Leading off is Jose Martinez. He's playing shortstop. Marco Cardoso is at second base. Philip Llewellyn in center field. Christian Byers, third base. Maurice Bendrian is behind the plate. Finn Bergman is at first. Luca Ramomen is the DH. Ian Eberhardt is in left. And number 9 hitter, Bjorn Reinhardt, is in right field. So Sasha Koch is pitching for the Caps today. Now Sasha has of course, very good record, not only this year but previous years as well. We always see him in the big games, and this of course is one of them. He's got a 2-0 record, and he's got 15 innings pitched this season, 14 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned runs. Look, what you really want to know is how many strikeouts, right? And he's got 23 on the season. So that's a very, very good total. Now,
yeah, I can add maybe
sure,
after last weekend when we had the quarterfinals and Sasha was pitching, he allowed like 3 runs or so, and we are not used to that from Sasha.
No, exactly.
But actually, he himself afterwards said, "Okay, I can do that better." So we'll wait and see.
Exactly. It's always good to work towards something. And look, that was the first round. You always have to work upwards, I guess you'll say. And so we'll look forward to seeing what Sasha has for us today on the mound. Facing him will be Patrick Harrison for the Untouchables. Now, he's got a 3-0 record as we're watching what's happening down on the field. I know we've got a little special something coming up. So just to finish things up, Patrick Harrison, he's got 26 strikeouts on the year. So look, the Bonn Capitals, very good hitting team. They're going to need to be today.
Okay, now we have the special surprise that's just starting now.
Tell us the surprise,
yes.
Angela. I think we
So
can
this
sneak
is
it.
Mirko Heid. It's the former player of the Bonn Capitals, the former head coach of the Bonn Capitals, and the former president of the German Federation. So he's just telling us that he has a big surprise for the Bonn Capitals head coach Max Schmitz, because the Capitals today retire his number, which is the number 7. If you look to the outfield, we have already 3 numbers retired, so it's not very often that happens. We have the 24 from Mirko Heid, so the 24 in the outfield is Mirko Heid. Then the 36 was Thomas Hoffmann, and the last one that we retired was the number 20 from B.J. Roper Hubbard. So this is a big honor for a player, for a coach. This was just a minute of silence for the victims of the flooding. So,
Yeah. Maybe-
yeah, I'm just listening to Mirko Heid, what he's saying, and he's now talking about what's coming up. Yeah, it's the biggest honor for a player that you can get.
Absolutely. It's only this will be the 4th.
Yeah, so he's talking about, and I can maybe talk about
Sure,
a little bit
please.
what is Max Schmitz for the Bonn Capitals. So he started he got to know baseball a little bit in America because his parents were living for a while in America. So he was like 4 or 5 years old when he came into baseball in America. So he started with the Bonn Capitals when he was 7 years old here with the Little Leagues. And since then, he played not only all teams of the Bonn Capitals, and of course several years in the Bundesliga and the national team. He was playing the national teams, even the U15, U18, U23, and then the senior national team of Germany. So and he's a well recognized, and honestly, everybody in baseball Germany loves Max Schmitz. So
He's the man.
yeah.
He's the man with the number on the center field fence now. Number 7 is going to be going up.
Yeah, right now, I mean, today they won't hang it up. They have it in their hands here. The kids will. It's not the kids. It's Paul Schmitz, his brother, holding the banner, and the other one is Noah Lind. Yeah.
Yeah, and what about you? And so what are some of the memories that you have of Max Schmitz? What is sort of, just give us something that stands out, perhaps.
He always was a brilliant pitcher.
Yeah.
And what he was always a team person. You know, he always looks for that everybody in a team is happy. If there are some whatever discussions about something, he always tries to calm down people. And I mean, he can himself be angry at times.
Can't we all?
But in general, he's an absolutely team player, and that stands out. And his pitching, you know, I mean, it's sad that he's only 29, and he retired beginning of this season because of when he broke his arm 3 years ago. So while pitching here on the mound at the baseball stadium Rheinauer, he broke his arm.
Incredible.
3 years ago. We were all looking at that and we couldn't believe it. And he tried to come back 2 years later, last year. So he tried to come back, but he learned he will never be the same as before. And so he decided to retire as a player. And then beginning of this year, fortunately for the Bonn Capitals, I mean, this is Bonn Capitals, you know, you have not, even the people, even the players from outside or coaches from outside. We very often have coaches from from our own. Like Mirko Haidt was one of his successors. Player of the Bonn Capitals, was the head coach for several years. Now Max Schmitz is the head coach, and as far as I can judge that for this season, he's doing a fantastic job.
A 14-0 record would certainly attest to that.
Now we have the national anthem, so we
take a break.
German national anthem.
And welcome back to Bonn. Great to have you back. We just had that very special moment retiring the number 7 from the Bonn coach, Max Schmitz. And I'd like to welcome you back, just in case you missed the opening. This is the first in the best of 3 semifinals contest between the Bonn Capitals and the Paderborn Untouchables. We see the coaches at home plate now. Must be an interesting moment to have your number retired. Everybody giving you a big round of hands. And now you're at the plate having to put your mind back into the game. But if there's anybody that can do it, I'm sure Max Schmidt is the one to do it.
Well, let me just add one thing. We have a nice video, some statements from former coaches, former teammates. I don't want to show it now because the game is almost to start, but in between, so some
Good
of the
idea.
statements, in between innings, I will show some of the videos so that you can listen to what other people say about Max Schmitz.
Yeah, thanks very much, Angela. That's a great idea. I know I look forward to that as well. I want to, before we get started, it would be worth mentioning, because it's important to know that Bonn will be the visiting team here today. So you'll see them hitting first. And because they're hitting first, and because Eric Brank is the first player coming up to bat for Bonn, we should mention, as we said we would, that Eric Brank was the player of the week last week throughout the league. Now, Eric has been playing for the Cap since 2015. He scored 3 hits, 2 RBI, and 3 runs in the first game last week against the Doran Wild Farmers, and he also walked twice. Now, in the second game, he got 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs, and that included 2 solo home runs in the 3rd and the 4th inning. And Angela, I know you remember those home runs like I do. They were pretty to watch.
Yeah, and they were over the left field fence and almost the same spot, both of them. And Eric Brank is not the home run hitter, so that was fantastic that he could hit 2 home runs in one game. So I think it was he was the right man to choose as the man of the week, so to speak.
I think you're absolutely right. It was electrifying to watch him last week. Every time he came up to the plate, we were thinking, what more can he do? And I think he was, at one point, Angela, if I'm correct, he was a triple away from the cycle in one game.
No, that was Joe Wittig.
That was Wittig.
That was Joe Wittig.
Yes.
He was a triple away from the cycle.
That's right.
Because Joe Wittig had a 3-run home run last week as well. So
exactly. Listen, what about some of the keys to the game for Bonn? Obviously, the bats were great last week, but there were some questions over the defense, no?
Yeah, actually, and Max Schmitz, of course, talked to his team about that. They had some bad throws to first base, especially Joe Wittig from third base. So the defense throwing, Brank had two errors, Joe Wittig had 2 errors. So they were definitely working on that this week. So.
Yeah, we have to tighten that up for sure. This is a different team. What would you say the major differences are between the Untouchables and the Wild Farmers? I mean, apart from just overall quality, I suppose, of the teams at all positions, but what's special about Paderborn?
I mean, they have some players with a lot of experience. They are still young, but they have a lot of experience. They are national team players, so they are playing on a very high level all year long. And this is definitely something they can work with, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, Paderborn is similar to Bonn. Is a team that usually uses a lot of players from their own youth youth areas. But this season they did it differently because they got 3 new players from outside. And you were talking about that already, like Jose Martinez, who is hitting like 486 or something like that. Then Christian Byers from South Africa, and Angel Duno, whom we probably will see pitching tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that 52 strikeouts jump off the stats page at me for Duno. So, yeah, if we see him tomorrow, that'll be interesting. But let's focus on the game for today, and we are ready to go. There is the man, the player of the week, Eric Brank, wearing number 30, and Bonn in their black and yellow, stepping up to the plate, and we are underway here in Bonn. Time of the game, the first pitch is 6:05, and that comes in for a strike. The wind is blowing straight out to center field, perhaps a bit to left, but it's come along at a fairly good clip, so you get anything up in the air, and that might carry a bit. And that comes in for strike number 2 on Brank. Now here we have the crowd coming in for the game. Now unfortunately we only able to get half the number of people we would have liked to have seen at the game, not because of lack of interest, but because of, you guessed it, COVID-19 protocols, as the incident rate in Bonn is unfortunately creeping up, as it is in many areas throughout not only Germany but throughout the world. 0-2 count on Brank.
Yeah, but you know, having half of the people is still good.
Absolutely.
When you compare that to the beginning of this season, when we were allowed to have 200 or so, you know.
It's a good point, Angela, to keep everything in perspective. It was good just to have baseball at the beginning of the season. Crowd getting into it early, cheering on Brank, who gives it a smack in it. The shortstop goes back and is able to grab it.
Long way for a shortstop.
Yeah, that
Shortstop.
was the one we were just talking about, Jose Martinez, leadoff hitter for Paderborn. We'll see him in the next inning. Now, that does it for Brank in his first at-bat. Up comes Joe Wittig, number 45. He's playing third base, as he has been throughout the duration of the year, and he's batting a very healthy .391. Now, we talked a little bit about the defense. But look, players have ups and downs throughout the season. His bat was certainly quite active. And he takes that for a ball. Joe Wittig, of course, one of the very bright spots in a season of bright spots for the Bonn Capitals. Yeah, he's from the USA. Just looking at his numbers as the catcher drops the ball. So, Joe Wittig, 437 average. Now, the other thing that we want to mention as we look at these numbers, we are combining the regular season with the playoff stats. You take the playoff stats after 2 games, and they are wildly skewed, so we will try to provide some perspective as we can along the first base line. The first baseman grabs it and runs it over himself to first. Almost a close play there. And that'll be 2 down in the inning. That'll be first base unassisted. That'll bring up Vinny Aarons. He's the catcher, batting .424 combined regular season and playoff average. Vinny Aarons, very popular player here in Bonn. And the crowd hoping for a hit early on in the game. There's 2 down. And that pitch is a very interesting one. Kind of a bit like a change-up curve. Umpire calls it for a strike. As usual, see lots of different hats from major league teams here in Bonn. That pitch is low. Of course, the major leagues had their trade deadline last night. Very interesting 24 hours, to put it mildly. If you're a baseball fan, you probably know those big trades. And that ball is low as well. I was very happy that of course, league's best team, the Toronto Blue Jays, made a few trades. I won't go through all of those individually. But we are very happy for some of the changes that they made. At least when I say we, I mean the royal we, as in me. Count is 2-1. 2 out here. No score in the top half of the first inning. Bonn, again, to repeat, is the visiting team for the purpose of the semifinals in this game. In the next game, they'll be the home team. And Vinny Aarons takes a pretty good slice and misses. And welcome back to Bonn. Sorry, we had a few technical difficulties there. To get you back up to speed, at the plate right now is Marco Cardoso. He's the second baseman. There is one out in the inning. Now, the first batter, Jose Martinez, grounded out to first base, and Daniel Lamb Hunt took that and touched the base unassisted on that play, just ran to the base and touched it. And swing and a miss. And Cardoso strikes out, and Sasha Koch rings up his first victim of the day. And that'll bring up to the plate Fildrick Llewellyn. He's the center fielder for the Untouchables. He's wearing number 8 and batting .451 on the season, combined season playoffs. Now, the Untouchables, as we said at the outset, are not the Dorn Wild Farmers. Not to cast aspersions on the Dorn Wild Farmers, but the Untouchables simply have a better set of batting averages, especially up at the top of the order. As that ball comes in for a strike, actually. Now, you look at the top of the order, Jose Martinez batting .476. That's his average. Great hitter. He's from Venezuela, by the way. I wanted to mention that before those technical difficulties kicked in. Marco Cardoso hits .389 average. Big swing and a miss there. He's in the hole 0-2. Fildrick Llewellyn, .451 average. The guy after him, Kirsten Byers, he's .328, .327, .290. I mean, the averages for Paderborn are significantly better than what we saw last week. So Sasha's got to have his stuff. And it's looking good earlier on in this game. Count is 1-2. 2 out here, no score. Bottom of the first inning. Again, and I'll say it one more time, and I think I'll leave it at that. If you're wondering why it's the bottom of the first and Paderborn's at the plate, it's because, for the purposes of the game, they are the home team for the semifinals, game 1. Game 2 happens tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and if necessary, a third game. That'll happen, a bit after that first game ends. If you want to come to the games, you got to register in advance. Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. 1, 2, 3. 2 strikeouts in that for Sasha Koch, and we'll be right back here on Caps TV. No score here in Bonn. Welcome back to Bonn. The score, no score here in Bonn, top of the second inning. Bonn is at bat. Terrell Joyce at the plate, number 6 on his back, playing center field today, 476 average. Now, I know we're combining the playoffs and the regular season today, but I did take a quick look at the playoff stats, and Bonn's got the number of the top 3 hitters, as we see, a single into left field. Terrell Joyce rounds first. He's going to stay there. I was just about to say Bonn's got the top 3 hitters in the league right now with respect to batting average. Daniel Lamb Hunt leads, then Brank, then Joyce. Top 3, that's not too bad. At the plate right now is Daniel Lamb Hunt with Joyce on first base. Daniel Lamb Hunt combined season playoff average of 422. I meant 482. Yes, exactly. And we see a single into right field. Joyce stays at second. And with Bonn has runners on first and second. Daniel Lamb Hunt on first and Terrell Joyce at second base. Nobody out. That'll bring to the plate hot hitting as always. It's like the perennial hot hitting Wilson Lee. Yeah, crowd getting into it early on, as they should. It's a beautiful night for baseball. The wind has died down. It's sort of fluttering around out there. We told you at the beginning of the game it's blowing straight out, a little bit to the left. Now it almost appears to have changed directions. This being Bonn, of course, and being right by the river. 2 on, nobody out. Check swing, foul down the first base line. So Angela has given me some updated batting averages, and that's actually very, very helpful. Thank you, Angela. Wilson Lee, let's revise that. He's hitting 361 on the playoff and season. Big hit into center field. Is it enough? He looks, he goes, it goes, it's gone! 3-run home run by Wilson Lee, and Bonn is ahead 3-0 here on the banks of the Rhine. And speaking of the banks of the Rhine, that one might have been in the Rhine. That was a great hit by Wilson Lee as he raises his fist skyward, gives his teammates a high five, and says to Danny Lankhorst as he passes him, let's keep it going. So Bonn off to a 3-run lead thanks to that 3-run home run by Wilson Lee. Danny Lankhorst with nobody out here in the top of the second. He's batting .256. That's his average. He's got 13 RBIs on the season, but, you know, Wilson Lee didn't leave anybody on base to hit home, so he's going to have to hit himself home, maybe. And that ball comes in low. 2-0 is the count. So Harrison, pitcher for the Untouchables, gets lit up for 3 runs here in the top of the second. And a jumper back to Harrison. He jogs it over to first, underhand. And a broken bat out for Danny Lankhorst. Put that in the kindling for the campfire tonight. And grab yourself a new one, Mr. Lankhorst. That'll bring to the plate with 1 out, Nick Michelli. Nick Michelli batting .314. One out, 3-0 Bonn after the home run by Wilson Lee. Takes a strike on that. I like these. I do like the Bonn, the black and yellow uniforms. I think they look sharp. I was coming in here today. I was got mixed up because, of course, Paderborn has the green and gold as well. Oh, and just off the third baseman, and he almost had that. Really, really hard hit. And Kirsten Byers is the third baseman for the Untouchables. And almost a really great catch, but a little too hard hit by Michelli.
Let me just say one word. We had some technical problems because the network broke for like 5 minutes. So sorry for that, but we couldn't do anything. We had to restart our router here. So we have done that, and we hope it will be stable now.
We tried to get Wilson Lee to knock an internet pole. I don't know anything about the internet. Can you tell? Back into place, so I think it's stable.
No, we told them to wait until we are on again. So
Okay.
this is what happened. So everybody has seen the home run.
That's right. Save the good stuff until we're back on. Eddie Stummel at the plate. 1 out. 3-0. Nick Michelli, very healthy lead at first base. I think Bonn would probably like to keep the momentum going. What am I saying? Of course they'd like to keep the momentum going. It's the playoffs. It's semifinals. And that comes in low. Oh, no, it comes in for a strike. The umpire has a bit of a delayed strike call. You gotta hesitate a bit and wait. Nick Michelli dancing around a little bit there on first base, shaking his knees, trying to get the attention of the pitcher, but Harrison just ignoring him. But he's going. And a foul ball off onto the right field side. Now, Michelli was clearly going on that. I don't know if the hit and run was on or not, but he was gone. He had a pretty good jump, too. 2-2 is a count. We'll have to see if the stolen base is still on. Nope. That pitch, wait for the umpire. No strike on that, so that's full count now.
So we have Christoph Feuerecker at home plate. He's the umpire. First base, we have Kevin Music, our friend Kevin.
The music man.
And Dirk Biel on third base.
All right, so.
And we have a walk for Eddie Stummel.
Eddie Stummel takes his place at first base. And that'll turn the lineup over to, you guessed it, Eric Brank. 2 on, 1 out. Earlier this inning, 3-run homer by Wilson Lee after singles by Terrell Joyce and Daniel Lamb Hunt. That ball comes in low. Eric Brandt, let's get that right average now that we have the updated stats at 369 he's hitting on this season and playoffs. And that comes in for a strike. 1-1. 16 RBIs on the year for Eric Brank. He also is a pitcher. Comes from Germany. For anybody not here. Ah, yes, the home crowd knows him well, of course. 24 hits on the season. Didn't like that ball. Gives it back to the umpire. We're ready to play again. So Michelli on second base. Stummel on first, and that's high and outside. 3-1. You lose him, you load the bases for Joe Vittig, and remember, Joe Vittig had a 3-run home run last week. I think he'd love to add one more onto that. Not to count chickens before they hatch, of course. And that's low, and he does lose them. Bases are loaded, as we said, for Joe Vittig. As pitching coach comes out for the Paderborn Untouchables, the catcher goes in and say, look, you had a pretty good opening in the first inning.
He has nowhere to go. I mean, if he would take one score because he lets Wittig walk, then the next...
yeah.
So all the next hitters are strong.
Yeah, you look down the lineup. Should I walk to get to Aaron's? No, I don't think so. Look at that average. And like, who's after that? Joyce. Not, it's not happening. So he's got to come to him. Joe Vitting, I'm sure, is hungry for this opportunity with 1 out, 3-0. We've already seen one 3-run shot today. Let's see what we can do with the bases loaded. Number 45 gives a stretch. Steps in. Harrison delivers. And he watches that one for a strike. Oh, and 1 now. Fitting in the hole. Let's start things off. Runners take their lead. Michelli down the line on third. Big swing and a foul and out of play. It lands in the other field. Almost hits a Raven. Come on, Joe, a little closer next time. One less Raven. Sacks are full of caps. And it comes in and he hits him. No, the umpire says it hits his bat.
No, I think he leaned into it.
Or that Max is suggesting he leaned into that, and that very well may be the case. I heard a thwack.
Yeah, it was his elbow.
It was his elbow pad. Okay. So the umpire says, not so fast, Joe. Come on back to the batter's box. You didn't get me there. So 0-2 remains the count. 1 out, 3-0 Bonn, top of the second inning. I think Joe would like another crack at it anyway. Oh, and he strikes out on that, and
he's not happy with it.
He's not happy about that either, and I saw that elbow go a bit closer to that one as well. In any case, 2 out now. Vinny Aarons is at the plate. And I think he'd also like the opportunity to see what he can do with the sacks full. Yeah, I think Vinny would like that chance back. A bit of a curve to the outside, and it's called a strike.
What?
I sort of roundly
That was half a meter outside.
questioned. Runner on first, runner on second, runner on third. Aaron's at the plate for the Bonn Capitals. Delivery. I guessed inside, but I'm waiting before I say what it could be.
So, yeah.
1-1. He's got quite the delayed call, this umpire. The cowbell is here. Praise all. Big swing and foul back. He was right on that. 1-2. Where do you buy a cowbell?
I don't know. In Switzerland.
I guess so. Stolen from a cow. Delivery. And a chopper down to second base. Bobbles it. On to first. He's out. And the Bonn Capitals miss a golden opportunity and leave the sacks full. The score is 3-0 though after Wilson Lee's 3-run home run. We head to the bottom of the second here in Bonn. 3-0.
I will show a little bit of the retirement videos.
Good idea.
So just watch them.
Hey Max, I want to say congratulations on your retirement from baseball. I had the good fortune of coaching Max not only with the German senior national team, but also Georgia State University team as well. Class person, great family, great baseball player. You've had a good one, Max. I hope you enjoy your retirement. But I'm pretty sure you'll continue in baseball and be a great coach and manager. Hopefully take some of the things that we learned together during our time together and continue the great tradition of German baseball. All right, Max, congratulations and good luck.
Hey, Max, congratulations on your jersey retirement. You deserve it. You deserve all the success that you have earned thus far. I wish you continued success in this season and beyond, but especially in this season. Yeah, go ahead and win the championship again, man. Why not? I love you, and peace.
Yo, Schmitzebub, herzlichen Glückwunsch zum Retiring deiner Nummer. Mehr als verdient. Ich glaube, kaum jemand hat die Bonn Capitals über die letzten 15 Jahre so geprägt wie du. Nicht nur mit super Fastballs, sondern auch mit deinem ganzen Einsatz für den Verein und alles. Also mega nice, mega verdient. Ich dachte, ich filme das hier mal aus einer Perspektive aus.
And welcome back to Bonn. Sorry to cut in on those comments. Great to hear those memories for Max Schmitz and some of those player tributes. We look forward to seeing that number 7 out there on center field once they hang it up here at the game in Bonn. 3-0 is the score after the 3-run home run by Wilson Lee. Christian Byers is the batter facing Cook for the first one, and he chops it out to the shortstop. Brank throws on to first and takes Lam Hunt off the bag. So Byers is safe at first.
So here we are again, not really good throws.
Indeed.
No chance for Daniel Lam Hunt there.
No, he had to come off the bag to get that. That'll bring up Maurice Bendrin. Bendrin hitting .327 on the season. Playoffs, wearing number 49. He's got 16 hits on the year, 10 RBIs. Good batter.
Nein, ich habe auf First Base, aber macht's nicht.
So, runner at first is Byers. Takes his lead, and a mighty swing, but that goes foul just behind us. 0-1 is the count. Byers talking to Lam Hunt at first base, saying, boy, you really had to come off the bag for that one. And Lam Hunt is saying, I wish I could stay. And it's in for a strike. 0-2 now. Sasha's looking good early on in the game. Struck out 2 in the first inning. That was Cardoso and Llewellyn. Byers takes a big lead at first base. Not going. No strike by the umpire again. Bit of a delay by the umpire when he does give his call. 1-2 is the count. Sets and delivers. And a strong hit in center field. And Joyce comes in and grabs it, throws on to first base. But Byers is back. Nice hustle out there by Terrell Joyce. And a good eye to look back Byers to first. Now, that means there's one out in the inning. Bendrin's down to flying out. That'll bring up Finn Bergman. Bergman hitting .290 on the season. He's got 10 RBIs as well. Germany. Wearing lucky number 13. Byers still at first base. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first base. They got him. Throw on to second. And they've picked him off. And what a fine play by the catcher, Aarons, to catch Byers at first base, taking a lead that was just a bit too healthy. Throws on to Lam Hunt. Lam Hunt throws on to second. And they got him. 2 down. That's experience behind the plate for you. Caught stealing. It's kind of a risky play sometimes because if you don't get that throw right on first base and you throw it in the dirt and the first base has got to go get it, it's a tough one as we have the third strikeout of the game for Sasha Koch. And we are heading now to the top of the third inning. 3-0 the score here on Caps TV. We'll be right back.
Der du mich eher selten siehst und ich dich immer sehe. Also siehst du mich mal von unten und hier auch von oben nach unten. Alles Gute. Mega nice. Herzlichen Glückwunsch, hau rein, bis bald, ciao.
Stiggy, mein Bester, ich habe gehört, dass dir heute die Ehre erwiesen wird, dass deine Nummer retired wird. Dafür wünsche ich dir alles, alles Gute. Well deserved, sage ich nur. Macht weiter so und holt die Meisterschaft nach Hause. Go Capitals.
Mein lieber Max, nur die besten Glückwünsche von meiner Seite zum Retirement der Nummer 7. Deine Verbundenheit zum Verein ist nicht einzigartig, aber definitiv großartig. Und es ist mehr als verdient, dass deine Nummer künftig neben Tommy, BJ und Mirko auch am Zaun hängen wird. Herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Hallo Max, zu deinem besonderen Tag. Ich wollte dir nochmal Danke sagen und es war einfach schön mit dir zu arbeiten. Es war unglaublich und ich wäre froh, wir hätten noch 10 Jungs wie dich gehabt und dann wären wir sehr erfolgreich gewesen. Ich kann mich erinnern, dass wir einmal mit dem Rogero war ich im Dogout gesessen und er hat gesagt, so ein Curveball hat er in Europa noch nie gesehen und hat gesagt, du kannst...
And welcome back to Bonn. 3-0 Bonn Capitals over the Untouchables. Thus far, Terrell Joyce is the one coming up. 3-0, as I said, on the back of a Wilson Lee 3-run home run. It's great. And that comes in for a strike. Oh, and 1 is the count. Terrell Joyce taking his measure of Harrison. And that comes in for a strike. And Terrell Joyce has a few questions for the umpire, and they're not about who won the 100-meter dash at the Olympics today. It's about that strike zone. But, Angela, I'm going to give you one chance to guess who it is what country won the 100-meter dash for the women today.
For the women?
Yeah. Strikes out for Joyce.
Jamaica.
You got it. Not only did they win.
Shelley, what is her name? Shelley?
No.
No?
No, she got, so Elaine Thompson-Hera beat Shelly Ann Fraser-Price.
Oh, I was about Shelly Ann Fraser-Price.
You're right. I mean, that was the favorite, but they came in 1, 2, and 3, Jamaica did, so.
It was okay, not too bad.
Not bad. Anyway, let's stick to baseball for now. Top of the 3rd inning, 3-0 Bonn, and with Joyce striking out, that brings up Lamb Hunt. Big chopper down the third base line, but that's foul. I always thought, though, one final thought on that race, they should throw somebody in from the audience, a guy like me, just to add some perspective to the 100-meter dash. You know, they run it in 10 seconds. I think I could do it in 40. If that pitch comes in high.
The 100-meter, you could do it in 40 seconds?
I think I could do it in 40, but they should bring somebody from the crowd in just to give some perspective. Like, you finish your hot dog in the crowd, you have to come down and run the race. I think it would be very interesting. It'd be very funny anyway.
So you do it in 40 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. I would drive. That pitch comes in for a strike.
Yeah, so the strike zone is not easy for the hitters today.
It's generous and rapidly shifting. 1 and 2. And foul back this way. Lamb Hunt taking his measure again of Harrison. I think I've already used that expression for him. And that comes in. He's got some heat on that one. That's his fastball, obviously. 2 and 2. 1 out here. Really, the game is moving along quickly as well, which is not a complaint, of course. It's a sharper game than we saw last week in Doran when the first game, Bonn scored 14 runs in the first. And Lamb Hunt over the second baseman's head and past the right fielder as well, all the way to the fence. And Lamb Hunt rolls into second with a very nice-looking double. And he gives a little fist pump. I'm not sure what kind of dance that was actually at second base. Regardless, he got that just over the second baseman. And it was moving along at such a clip that it got past the right fielder as well. And to the plate. Numero 21. You know who this is. Wilson Lee, he hit that great home run, 3-run home run in the second inning, his last at bat.
Direction of the Rhine River, his home run. So.
Indeed.
But this is a pop-up.
And it's a big pop-up. Looks like a second out. Will it be? It is. So that's 2 down. Not this time. Not this time. I'll bring up Danny Lankhorst. Danny Lankhorst is batting .256 in the season. 10 hits, 13 RBI. Takes that for a strike. Daniel Lamb Hunt all by his lonesome self out there at second base, really hoping someone brings him home. As the crowd agrees and claps their hands. Perhaps not clapping for that strike that was just called, though. 0-2 is the count. 2 out, top of the third. 3-0 Bonn. First game in the semifinals. And that's a ball. 1-2. It's a little dodgy to be taking any pitch today, by judging by the consistency we've seen at the plate. With respect to the strike zone, of course. 1-2 pitch on the way. And that's a ball. 2-2. Keeps it interesting. No win now. Flags hanging limply. Now, Lankhorst steps out, gives a few swings, resets his mind. Maybe hoping to throw Harrison off a bit as well. Big chopper out to the third baseman. That might have been foul, but he's safe at first base. Now, what's the call on that going to be? Yeah, that's a foul ball. Caught that behind third base, so of course, if he caught that in foul territory, that's a foul ball. All the way back to home plate comes Danny Lankhorst with the 2-2 count. Nick Michelli's in the batter's box. Asked him to maybe send it a foot or two over the other way. As the crowd starts again, clapping, Harrison sets and delivers. And the umpire pulls him, and he strikes out, and that'll end the inning. 3-0.
Again. Yeah, okay.
As the score here in Bonn, we'll be right back on Caps TV.
Ich glaube, wir müssen von Spiel zu Spiel schauen. Ich glaube, wir werden uns von Spiel zu Spiel steigern.
Nächstes Spiel angreifen. Wir haben noch ein Riesenspiel, das ist erstmal wieder am Freitag vor der Brust.
Es ist am Samstag ein schweres Spiel.
Und Sonntag geht's weiter.
Es ist nur ein Spiel.
Was danach kommt, das wird man sehen.
Egal, was danach kommt, wir zeigen es live. Mit allen Spielen der dritten Liga, der Penny DEL und der Easy Credit BBL. Nur bei Magenta Sport.
Das ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schütz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden-Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schütz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps! Das
Welcome back to Bonn. 3-0 Bonn. Bottom of the third inning. Luca Brammelman is at the plate. He's a .255 average, 13 hits, 16 RBIs on the season. Wearing number 51. And a big hit into center field, but it looks like it's going to stay in. Terrell Joyce wanders over, says thank you very much. Got that one, and he does. One down. Now we look at some of the other games around the league. Dorn and Hamburg are tied 5-5, top of the third. Stuttgart leading Haar 4-0. That's in the bottom of the seventh. Dortmund leading Solingen 8-4. That's in the bottom of the sixth. As that pitch comes in for a strike. Cologne beating Berlin in the top of the sixth. That's 10-5. And here in Paderborn, between Paderborn and Bonn, Bonn is leading 3-0. Swing and a miss. That's a strike. Now tomorrow.
I mean, the most important game today was Heidenheim and Regensburg, and they're playing very, very tight games. I mean, this was the third of the 3 games they had so far in the semifinals that had just a difference of 1 run.
3-2 was that final score,
Yeah,
by the way.
3-2 for Heidenheim today, so they are leading 2-1 in the series. They are playing best of 5, which is different from our games here in the semifinals. We are playing best of 5.
Could I interrupt you, Angela? Why would there be a difference?
The reason is that the South League started earlier with the season. So that means they started earlier with the season because of Corona. The North started like 6 weeks later. And that has given them more time. They played more games. They played 28 games in the regular season. We played 14. And they had more time to play their quarterfinals and semifinals.
That makes sense. Thank you. Ian Eberhardt at the plate now. He's batting 192 on the season. And striking out was Luca Rammelmann.
So this should be Bjarne Reinhardt.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, striking out was Eberhardt. We're focusing on that out-of-town scoreboard, missing that one batter at the plate. However, 2 out here, 3-0 Bonn. And a swing and a miss. Sash is cooking. He's doing all right.
Yeah, he's in a good mood today.
He
said that last week. I can do better. So he wants to prove that.
It's nice. It's nice to see when players recognize where they can improve. Looks like he's on it.
Last time the umpire called that a strike.
I thought it might. He might have, yes, and he did. So, yeah, 2-1 is the count. Reinhardt, a 175 batter. He's only got 7 hits on the season. Swing and a miss, and clearly overpowered there. 2-2 is the count. Number 9 batter in the order. After this, it'll flip over back to Jose Martinez. If, of course, Reinhardt manages to get on. Looking ahead to the next inning for the Caps, it'll be Michelli, Stummel, and Brank. Sash sets and delivers. Big swing and a miss, and he strikes him out. And that will, quite quickly, end the third inning. As we head to the top of the fourth, it's 3-0 Bonn. We'll be back on Caps TV. Welcome back. At the plate is Nick Michelli for the Bonn Capitals, who are leading 3-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. Bonn, of course, is the visiting team for the purposes of the playoff game today. Tomorrow's game, by the way, before we neglect to mention it, is at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure, if you are hoping to come to the game, I'm not sure if the tickets are sold out or not, but you have to register in advance due to protocols.
No, actually, the registration is closed, so we have a few tickets left, so you can come just come and you will get a seat. So we have like 50 tickets left, so there's enough space.
Yeah, so come on out to the game, by the way, if you're at home and watching, because you can see another great hit like that by Nick Michelli, who's at first base. Bringing up Eddie Stummel, who walked in his last at-bat. And before we leave Michelli, let's point out that he's got 2 singles. He's 2 for 2 in the game today. Eddie Stummel, walked in his last at-bat, looking down at his coach. Michelli will recall, was an attempted steal. This might be the time for him to go, but fouled off. Stummel fouled off the pitch last time, so he never ended up going. And that pitch comes in for a strike. That pitch has either been called a strike or not a strike at any point in this game.
There's a 50-50 chance.
Harrison sets and delivers. And Stummel takes a ball. So 1-1 is count. Michelli at first base. No sign of going yet. If indeed he is. It might be the time. Michelli. Harrison is not paying him a lot of attention. I don't know. I think I'd be tempted if I'm Max Schmidt to send Michelli.
Yeah, but Maurice Bendrine is a very, very good catcher, so he's very quick. So you have to be careful.
Point taken. He's not going. And Stummel hits that out to the second baseman, on to the shortstop, back to first base. That's a double play. And 2 out now in the inning. And that'll flip the lineup over to Eric Brank, who has walked and flown out to the shortstop in his first 2 at-bats. 4-6-3 on that play on Stummel. Brank, 369 average, 24 hits, 16 RBIs on the season. He's also pitched an inning. His 5 home runs are the highest of his career. Not, as Angela noted at the outset of the game, he's not necessarily a home run hitter, but we saw 2 of them last week. Diverse, dynamic. Every team would love a player like Brank. That's in for a ball. Got some power. A bit of everything. Big hit into center field. The center fielder goes back to the warning track, leaps. And did he make that catch or not? No, he didn't. So, Max is telling me that the ball bounced out of his glove and over the fence. So, Brank, just as we were talking about his power, Mr. Home Run, 3 in the last 2 weeks alone, makes the score 4-0 here in Bonn. And to the farthest reaches of the park as well. That was a good hit that just kept drifting and went off the center fielder's glove.
But good effort by the center fielder, but
absolutely,
it was just right about too high.
You got to give him credit because he was on that ball, and that's a tough play up against the fence. So yeah, kudos on the center fielder for that, and that's Llewellyn, of course. So 4-0 Bonn. And that's a Vitta at the plate. He struck out in his last appearance. Lined out to first baseman. First at bat. And a chopper to the second baseman on to first. And that'll end the inning. But not before Eric Brank sends one. Adios. Welcome back to the greatest ballpark in the world. That is the ballpark on the Rhine. Here, the score is 4-0. Not sure where I was going with that. It's a great day for baseball, though. Got some cloud cover, and Bonn is winning. So everyone seems to be in a good mood, except for the Untouchables for now. We'll see how things go. Bottom of the 4th inning. At the plate, top of the order, Jose Martinez. And do not sleep on Jose Martinez because he's got a great average. He's a great player. 476 is his average. Jams him, Sasha does, and he sends it straight back, and I'm waiting for the... There you go. Nice little bang on the top of the building here from where we're broadcasting. Let's talk a little bit about Llewellyn. 23 hits on the season. 15 RBIs. He's from... Wait a second here. Hold on a second. No. 20 hits. 28 RBIs because he's from Venezuela. Is why I knew I was confused there. Shortstop Brank on to first to Daniel M. Hunt, and he's got him. 6-3's play on that. And they've managed to get Martinez out twice now. It's a feather in their caps thus far. Now bring up Marco Cardoso. Very good player as well. 389 average, 21 hits, 17 RBI. He is from Germany. Ring number 1 in his back, just in case you're wondering. 1-0 is the count. 1 out. I know everybody's on pins and needles for the Hamburg Dorn Wild Farmers game. It's 5-5 still. Top of the 3rd. Sorry. 1-1 is the count. 1 out. Again, there's about 50 tickets left for tomorrow's game. Starts at 1 o'clock. Make sure you register in advance. Sasha sends one low. 2-1. It's a great way to spend a Sunday. The weather tomorrow looks a little dodgy, but don't let that throw you off. We're not made of sugar. And there are things like umbrellas in case it does start to rain. I'll be here. Max will be here. Fabian will be here. We're all here. Of course, we're covered under the gazebo. But look, I mean, it's going to be a great day for baseball. We'll see how the end of this one affects that game tomorrow. But I'm sure we're going to see some good pitching. I think the idea is for the Paderborn Untouchables to throw out their Angel Duno pitcher, who is having just a great season. He's from Venezuela. I think I read earlier that he's got 52 strikeouts on the season, so Bonn will be in tough. They got to win this game if they want to have a good chance at tomorrow's game as well. Of course, they've got Sasha on the mound today, and he's doing pretty good thus far. 3-2, full count. Oh, right over Sasha's head. It was so close he thought about that one as it went by. And Cardoso's at first base for the Untouchables. I'll bring up Llewellyn. He's the one that went back to get that huge hit. The home run that was just delivered over the center field fence by Eric Brank to make it 4-0. And you know, we were talking before how that was such a great effort that he made, and it bounced out of his glove and over the fence. But he really timed it well, went to the fence, showed no fear. Nice job. 1 out. Cardoso at first base, Llewellyn at the plate. Llewellyn, 451 average on the season. Again, these numbers tell you a lot about Paderborn's potential. Finished 10-4, Paderborn did on the season. Big swing by Llewellyn, and takes a strike on that one, obviously. 1-2. He wanted that. He was hungry for that coming in. Paderborn won their quarterfinals against Hamburg by a score of 9-2 and 9-3. And there goes the runner, Cardoso, but Llewellyn fouls it back and he looks skyward. Cardoso had a great jump. He would have made it. No slight to Aaron's, but that really was a good jump that he had. So we'll do it over again. 1-2 is the count. 1 out. 4-0 Bonn. Bottom of the fourth. A lot of fours. Throw back to first, and Cardoso easily back. I got something to tell you after this next pitch. I did a little research this day in baseball. I got something interesting for you from 2010. Pitch on the way. Llewellyn sends it into right field. Lankhorst goes over. And he grabs it, and that's 2 out. So in 2010, on this day in baseball, listen to this, boys. Chris Coughlin seriously injures himself when he tries to smash a shaving cream pie in Wes Helm's face after his teammate hit a single to give the Marlins a 5-4 walk-off victory over Atlanta. The 2009 NL Rookie of the Year will go on the disabled list with a torn meniscus in his left knee and will miss the remainder of the season. Very, very well done. That's what a coach likes to see.
Get the shaving cream out.
That's right. Coincidentally, I haven't seen a lot of shaving cream pies being thrown around in the majors lately. As that pitch is called for a strike, 0-1. It's amazing what baseball players get injuries from. We saw it last year. Even Sasha, who's on the mound right now, raking the field, I think, or something like that, broke his finger.
The Johannes Cespedes injury.
Cespedes, yeah.
He went away from a boa.
A boa. He went away from a boa constrictor. Swing and a miss. He says that's a foul off. So, Cardoso is getting his wind sprints in. He's got to go back to first base. 0-2 is the count. So Kevin Pillar, when he played for the Toronto Blue Jays, I remember he suddenly went on the injured list and nobody could figure it out. And he was too embarrassed to say, I think, what happened. He sneezed and threw out a back muscle. I mean, this is, it's no joke for anybody who's had that happen to them. And a swing and a miss, and Sasha gets him. Nice work by Sasha. That's 3 down. 4-0 Capitals over the Untouchables, and we'll be right back as we go to the top of the 5th here on Caps TV. Welcome back for nothing Bonn, top of the 5th inning. Vinny Arns at the plate. Vinny Arns grounded out to the second baseman in the second, struck out in the first. What a wild day in MLB yesterday. I know we're not covering the Major League Baseball here, but with that trade deadline, it was just incredibly wild. And a big hit to right field. If it stays fair, it's gone, but it's foul, unfortunately. Why don't we go over a few of the scores from yesterday's game? Because the most important game, of course, was between Kansas City and Toronto. That's what everybody in the major leagues was watching. Toronto being, of course, the official team of the Bonn Capitals. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. That's my official team. And another foul back. 1-2 is the count. So they beat KC, Toronto did, 6-4. And other games. Now, we were talking about this earlier with the trade deadline. The Cubs and the Nationals just decimated their teams yesterday. It was selling off everything day, and they played each other, and the Nationals beat the Cubs 4-3. That pitch comes in high, 2-2. Look at this. Pirates beat the Phillies. Tigers lost to the Orioles. Tigers have been playing great, but they lost the Orioles 4-3. The Mets, pay attention, Fabian. They lost to the Cincinnati Reds 6-2. I wanted to make sure you heard that. This game, 1-2 count on Aaron's. And a chopper up to the shortstop, on to first. Wait, it was a close play at first base, but the umpire says Aaron's is out. He made that close, though. Nice hustle. I like to see that. That'll bring up Terrell Joyce. Terrell Joyce had an interesting strikeout his first at-bat. Had some questions for the umpire, such as, why did I strike out on that? Rays beat the Red Sox 7-3. Marlins lost to the Yankees, the dreaded Yankees, 3-1. Milwaukee playing hot. They beat the Braves yesterday 9-5. 9-5 also was the score of the Mariners over the Rangers. Nobody cares less about that game. White Sox, hey, they got Kimbrel yesterday. They beat the Indians 6-4. Cardinals over the Twins 5-1. Angels lost to the Athletics 2-0. That pitch comes in low. The Dodgers lost, love to see that, to the Diamondbacks of all teams, 6-5. Astros beat the Giants 9-6. And the Rockies beat the Padres 9-4. Big hit into left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul ball. Foul ball and just foul. Look at Terrell. He's standing down there. He really wanted to finish that run around the bases, and the umpire told him that he's got to come back. That was close. Very, very close. There's some dispute up here about whether that was fair or foul, but
It's just obvious.
I'm in no position because I don't have a good view down the third base line, but I'm being told it was possibly a fair ball. But again, the umpire called it foul, so our opinion doesn't matter. 2-2 now. 3-1 the count on Terrell Joyce. But to Joyce's credit, I mean, you could, we've seen it, players go make a big deal out of it, because let's face it, it could have been a home run. But he kept his cool, and he's back in the box now with the 3-1 count, 1 out. And he takes that for a walk. So, look, runner on, 1 out. Got to get on base any way you can. He'll take a walk, even after that loud strike he took to left field. All right, enough of the maybes. Let's bring up Daniel Lamb Hunt. He got a double in his last at-bat and a single in his first at-bat in the second. So he's 2 for 2. Joyce on first base. Big swing, foul. Yeah, Lamb Hunt looks like he's on those pitches today. Liam Hunt, 481 average. Nothing to sneeze at. Big hit up the middle. And the train keeps rolling for the Bonn Capitals. First and second, one out. Heart of the order producing again. Wilson Lee comes to the plate. Look, that's Liam Hunt is having himself a game. He's 3 for 3. As the catcher goes out and the coach goes out to talk to Harrison on the mound. As we get ready to see Wilson Lee at the plate. And I think the subject of this discussion, I'm just going to wager a guess, and that might be about Wilson Lee's 3-run homer back in the second inning. And in fact, they are going to make a pitching change. Number 10, Harrison is out of the game. He gives up 4 runs thus far. There's 2 on, of course. And we'll be right back as we find out more details about who's coming in and his stats and all those fun things here in Bonn. It's 4-0 here on Caps TV. Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 4-0, and there has been a pitching change. In place of Patrick Harrison, we find ourselves with Matt Kemp on the mound for the Untouchables. He's not a bad ERA. He's got not a bad ERA. It's 1.48, I believe. So this gentleman knows how to pitch, of course. Hey, Wilson Lee. Hey, he looks back. Looks back Joyce at second base, but Joyce was going nowhere. Wilson Lee finds himself in a familiar situation as he did in the top of the second inning, where he had 2 on and hit a 3-run home run. That pitch is, I presume, outside. It's hard to guess sometimes. Today, the pitch zone has been favorable and shifting. Liam Hunt on first, Joyce on second, 1 out, 1-0 the count on Wilson Lee. That pitch is low. 2-0 is the count. Pitching carefully, of course, to Wilson Lee, which is not a bad strategy anytime. Lee, 361 average, 22 hits, 21 RBI. Big swing and a miss. Wilson Lee wanted that one. Wind now shifted, blowing out again to left field a bit. And down to third base. Third baseman runs over, touches third, on to first base. Got him just in time. And that's 3 out. That's a very good play at first base. So with that, it's the end of the inning. We move to the top of the 5th inning, 4-0 the score. We'll be back on Caps TV. Welcome back to Bonn. 4-0 is the score. Caps over the Untouchables. Morris Bendrian is at the plate for the Untouchables. He flew out to center field in his last at bat. 327 average, 16 hits, 10 RBIs on the season. Sasha still in the mound. Looked like a curve coming in there. Now, Max, of course you can't see Max here in the booth, but Max told me something interesting in between innings, a couple innings ago, that last week it appears that every time that Sasha was shaking off errands, he would follow up with a strike. Now, this game it appears, and Max, tell me if this is wrong, I'm not sure if this continues to be the case, but he'll throw more of a curve after a shake-off, if there's any shake-offs at all. Not sure what that means to you at home, but it's an interesting little tidbit to me. 4-0 the score, 0-2 of the count. Bendrian at the plate. Sasha on point today. As we saw from that, appeal down to first. First base umpire says he didn't go around. Count is 1-2. Look pretty good from up here, but we are off center a little bit. Sasha said he had some room for improvement after last week's performance, and we're seeing that improvement here. So he's got 7 strikeouts in today's game so far. That's obviously good. That'll add to his total, and that'll be 34 combined regular season and playoffs. And recall, we don't have a full season of games as we would in a normal season, so that number's pretty good. Nice cool weather here, but cool-ish. Perfect for baseball. And he strikes him out. That's number 8 today. Number 9 takes care of number 6. And that'll bring up number 13, Finn Berkman. He's the first baseman. He struck out in his first at-bat. So Sasha's already claimed him once. We'll see what he can do the second time around. 1 out. Big hit, but foul. And he takes a strike on that. Sasha continues to throw some solid heat in there and a few good curveballs as well, as we just saw. 1-2. 1 out. Big hit and just over the shortstop's head. Brink just missed that one. He had about another few centimeters. He would have had that, but alas, first base is Bergman's for the taking. Ramelman is now at bat. He's a DH. He's batting .255 in the season, wearing number 51. 13 hits, 16 RBI. He's from Germany. I mean, most of these guys are, obviously. Except for Llewellyn, who's from the Netherlands. That pitch comes in low. Jose Martinez from Venezuela. And South Africa is Christian Byers. Home country. Now, wait, one more. Angel Duno, who we'll probably see tomorrow. He's from Venezuela. Again, I love doing these play-by-play, having these opportunities to do the play-by-play and seeing these players from all over the world come together here in Bonn. Chopper out to shortstop, on to second, and they force the out on to first, not in time. So they got the lead runner. Ramelman legs it out down to first. They forced Bergman out at second. He's the one that's heading back to the dugout now. So 6-4 on that play. That's 2 out. Ian Eberhardt at the plate. He's playing left field today for the Untouchables. Gonna take a strike. He's batting .192 on the season. Not a great average. He's number 8 hitter in the final 2 batters in most lineups. Not your strongest hitters, or else they'd be at the top. Not 100% of the time, of course, but generally that's a rule of thumb. Down to third base. Vittig on to first. Lamb Hunt grabs it, and that's the end of the inning. 2 out, 3 out. 4-0 is the score here in Bonn. We head to the top of the 6th. Here on Caps TV. We'll be right back.
Spiel zu Spiel schauen. Ich glaube, wir werden uns von Spiel zu Spiel steigern.
Nächstes Spiel angreifen. Wir haben noch ein Riesenspiel, das ist erstmal wieder am Freitag vor der Brust.
Es ist am Samstag ein schweres Spiel.
Und Sonntag geht's weiter.
Es ist nur ein Spiel. Was danach kommt, das wird man sehen.
Egal, was danach kommt, wir zeigen es live. Mit allen Spielen der 3. Liga, der Penny DEL und der Easy Credit BBL. Nur beim Magenta Sport.
So, welcome back. Top of the 6th inning with Danny Lankhorst at bat. First pitch at the ball. You remember Matt Camp is on the mound now for the Untouchables. Second ball to Danny Lankost. Relatively quick game here. 6th inning, 1.5 hours. Outside, ball number 3. Called a strike. 3-1 the count. Full count. Here in the top of the 6th inning. I'd say inside, but we know that this umpire calls inside pitches a strike. He did this time again, so first out.
Hi, Angela. Did you miss me?
Oh, I missed Brent so much. You missed the strikeout.
I just caught the tail end of that. Nick Michelli takes a strike, too. What do you think so far, Angela?
Of this game?
Of this game, yes. No, of me. No, of the game.
Let me just check here. My scoreboard does not work.
Okay, well, why don't we'll get back to that in just a few minutes then.
Yeah. Hold on a second with your question.
Okay.
Give it to me later.
You bet. All right, so Nick Michelli's batting .314 on this season. Matt Kemp on the hill. Swing and a miss. Michelli really wanted that one. One and two is the count, 1 out. Bonn played a good game, has been playing a good game so far. I mean, they've gotten lots of players on. It's a high pop-up now. Looks like it's heading foul. Third baseman, has he got room? Has he got room? I can't see. I think it's foul, yeah. Sorry, Angela. Yes. So foul ball, 1 and 2.
It has been a good game, but you also have to see that we got our 4 runs through 2 home runs. So I mean, our hitting is not bad, but the bread and butter plays, you know.
Yeah, we've left a few, by my count, 2 significant opportunities, once with the bases loaded, once with 2 on as well. So missed some chances as well. Sasha looking good, though, of course. 8 strikeouts
Absolutely,
today.
yeah.
2 and 2 the count here on Michelli. 1 out. Lankos went down on strikes. And a hit down to the third baseman. Throws it on to first. He's got a stretch for it, but he gets there. Well, that's 2 out, and that will bring to the plate Eddie Stummel. 5-3 on that play. Eddie Stummel has grounded into a double play and walked. 214 hitter on the year. 6 hits, 4 RBIs. Crowd's still into it. I mean, still somewhat a tight game. It's only 4-0, and of course that's not. We've seen that lead. Actually, we saw this against the Untouchables when they were here earlier this season.
Yeah.
And they were ahead, and then that game ended up 11-10. Bonn just squeaked one out. No lead is safe.
Okay, this was a ball. Okay.
Kemp sets and delivers. And that comes in for a strike. 1 and 2. 2 out, 4-0, top of the 6th. Game is moving along. I think it's due to Sasha, really. He's pitching. He's not wasting any time between pitches. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and they didn't have many hits, right? Like 3 or so?
No, this is the second at-bat for most players in the Untouchables. So Chopper just passed the pitcher. The second baseman bobbles it and stumbled now on first base with a single. So that's an error on the second baseman.
Yeah. Marco Cardoso.
Yeah. Tries to. The problem was trying to get it out of his glove as he was going to throw it on to first. So 1 on, 2 out. That flips the order over to Eric Brink, who sent one into center field and sent one directly over the fence via the center fielder's glove, Llewellyn. As in it, Llewellyn had a piece of it, went in and out of his glove and over the fence. Brink 369 on the season. I'm sure that's just a tick higher now. So we were talking about Eric Brink, not a home run hitter during the season, but in the last
this season is pretty good.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks it's his third one.
Greetings to Bob Rank, his father, who normally watches our games over live stream.
Indeed. The Sun takes a strike, 2-2. Swing and a miss. So it obviously wasn't 2-2. The scoreboard and I are not agreeing. Now it is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 4-0. Top of the 6th. Bonn in the lead. Stummel takes the lead at first, and that's low to Brink. Brink wearing number 30. And the crowd starts their chant, or a clap, I should say. Cowbell comes out. And there goes Stummel on that full count. Foul ball. Full count runners going. But we'll try it all over again. All day it's been threatening to rain, but no rain. It was a little bit earlier in this afternoon, I guess. But
don't call
no,
for
you're
it,
right.
please.
I keep doing that mistake. You're right. Foul back our way. You know, I used to play baseball, and I would say that to my coach. I'd be like, boy, it looks a little bit like rain. No, don't say that. You can't say the R word.
That's true. So stop it now.
I've been playing for years. It's funny. It wasn't until I got to Germany that I found out about this superstition. There goes Stummel again. And that one's just fouled.
And he goes back again.
Someone bring the oxygen tank down.
Yeah, but good
first
battle
base.
here. Good battle by Eric. So
Indeed. Yeah, and he's giving a smile, I think. Down to Eric Frank saying, hit this fair this time. I don't have much air left. Or perhaps, and there's a very good chance of this, he's in better shape than I am. Because that's what I would be saying. There goes Stummel again. Hits Brink in the shoulder.
Hit by pitch.
Yeah. Didn't look like it harmed him in the least. Brink goes down to first base. So after that battle, I hit batter. That will bring up Joe Vidic. Joe has grounded out to the second baseman, struck out, and grounded out to the first base. I'm sure he'd like something just a little bit stronger this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I think Wittig definitely wants to get something going here.
Yeah.
Because he's not very lucky today so far.
Nope. This might be the at-bat. And a liner to the shortstop, flips it to second, and he calls the runner safe at second base. The umpire does. And I would say that's the right call. It certainly looks like he beat that throw. So bases are loaded again.
The shortstop took it too easy, you know, like, come on, nothing
really
happening here.
And so, in that case, credit to Brink for hustling. We've seen some good hustle by Bonn today. Good to see.
So now it's time for Vinny
Yep.
to get something going.
Finney Aarons ground out to the shortstop, second baseman, and struck out. So he's 0 for 3. I'm sure he's looking to get a little something moving. Sacks are full. It's the second time, and that's a strike. Now, it's the second time this game that Bonn has had the bases full with 2 out. Let's see if they can do better than they did last time, leaving them all on. Wind blowing now really strong out to left field. Just suddenly picked up. Runners take their lead and go back. Stummel at third, Brank at second, Vittig at first base. At the plate is Vinny Aarons. 382 average. And a big swing and a miss. 1-2 is the count now. Matt Kemp, the Untouchables, hoping to get out of this inning unscathed. Aaron's hoping for complete opposite, of course. Pitch comes in outside. 2-2 is the count. 2 out. 4-0 the score, 6th inning. Top of the 6th here in Bonn. First game of the semifinals. Again, second game tomorrow at noon. All right, 1 o'clock, sorry. Pitch. And a big foul down towards the dugout. And it is foul. Out of play. Looked like it could have been close. Third baseman came over for that. And the count remains 2-2 with 2 out. Aaron's has 24 RBIs on the season. Looking to add to it. Pitch. Another foul straight back. He's on those pitches. He's right on there. If he could straighten those out.
And he's definitely keen to do that.
Yeah. He has had a good game defensively today. Threw out the runner at first base from home plate after watching him stray a little too far. Sacks are loaded. Delivery. Another foul, this time down the left field line. Okay, between the lines, Vinny. Between the
Vinny,
lines.
genau. Genau. Come on, Vinny.
That wind is sort of going everywhere and straight out to center now. Get one in the air, Vinny, and it might take a ride. Pitch. Way outside. Full count. This is the pitch of the game so far. He can break it wide open at this point if he gets some lumber on it. Or it stays close. Pitch on the way, full count. And he walks a run home. Boy, that was
close.
That was close. And if I'm Aaron's,
very risky with that umpire.
Risky with what we've seen today. So Aaron's good eye in there, and sacks are still full. Coach comes out. 5-0 now the score, top of the 6th inning. Let's catch up. So Terrell Joyce is at the plate with that.
Who had a home run which didn't count.
Well, this is the allegation.
Yeah, the thing is, from up here you can really pretty good see where the balls go. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult down there.
Expect the umpire to see it from right down there.
Yeah, one would think maybe the umpire has a pretty good view too at home plate.
But then that was definitely a home run.
Yeah, I didn't see it, so I can't really say when. But I'll take your word for it. You guys also have younger eyes than I do, so.
Not me.
Well, I'm trying.
But I wear glasses.
You wear glasses, yes. So Terrell Joyce at the plate. Now, he walked, he struck out, and he singled back in the 2nd inning. 2 out, 5-0. Bases loaded. Terrell Joyce 7 home runs on the season. Now, he hit one last week as well, from what I recall, so that's 8. Let's see what he can do here. Pitch, a big hit down the line. It's foul.
Foul ball.
That's down the left field line. Now, that strikeout he took back in the third, I remember there's some dispute about that. It was sort of a questionable call at the time by the umpire. Here the count is 0-1. He finds himself in the hole. Matt Kemp still on the mound. Pitch on the way. And that's a ball. Sort of hold your breath every time because that call is always a little bit delayed. 1-1. 2 out. Cowbell going. Big chopper to the shortstop, flips it back to the second baseman, not in time. And the run comes home, and Brink scores. And the score is 6-0 now for the Bonn Capitals.
This was again, I mean, the shortstop, like, very easy going.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it was difficult because they had to run back.
Yeah.
But still.
He should have had that. He flipped it sort of nonchalantly behind his back to the second baseman. It wasn't there in time. Just wasn't. Not with the...
the throw was just too slow.
Yeah, not with Aaron's on first base. Jose Iglesias, yeah. Well, not quite there yet. So Joyce is on first.
Don't
Aaron's
make
on
fun
second.
about Mr. Martinez. He can hit a home run any time.
Absolutely. That's correct. But the 2 plays that he did make defensively could have been made with a little more aggressiveness, perhaps.
We started to get runners on base in this inning with 2 outs.
That's right.
And we are still there.
That's right. And Lam Hunt in the plate, and he's been hitting very well today. 2 singles and a double. And a big chopper to third. Third baseman just goes over and touches the bag, and Lam Hunt leaves the bases loaded. But Bonn gets 2 runs in this inning with 2 outs. So as we go to the bottom of the 6th, it's 6-0 Bonn over the Untouchables. We'll be right back on Caps TV.
Ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schütz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schütz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps!
Welcome back to Bonn. We're a little afraid up here that we may have jinxed ourselves because we were, of course, talking about Martinez 2 sort of nonchalant plays we discussed, and we're worried now because he's coming up. He's second up in this inning, but right now Reinhardt is at the plate and he bunts it down to the pitcher, Sasha, on a first base. Says, thank you very much for that little morsel. And there's 1 out already in the bottom of the 6th. Reinhardt down. That'll bring up the aforementioned Jose Martinez from Venezuela.
Is His full name is Jose Corona Martinez.
Indeed, and I have
And
no...
this is why these days nobody uses his second name. So
Well, this is interesting. Interesting. So, number 3, Jose Martinez. He of the 476 average comes to the plate. And perhaps, as we said, as he takes that ball high, looking to atone for 2 plays defensively that we suggest may have been a bit nonchalant. Of course, we're not in that position out there, and bases loaded, lots of pressure. We just call it from the cheap seats, and that's what I do best. So, so 2-0 is the count, 1 out.
it's amazing. Sasha is in the 6th inning and he has not 60 pitches so far.
Yeah, he's been pitching a great game. And now, I'm not sure, Martinez just sort of stepped away as that pitch came in. There was no time called on that. Comes in for a strike. 2-1. I'm not sure he just gave up on the pitch or decided he wasn't going to have any part of it. Big swing, but straight up. That was... might hit a satellite.
Into the grill.
Yeah. Nobody wants to go get that.
On the burger.
Yeah, on the burger. Who's getting that one? Take some pickles and onions and... oh, a Rawlings. 2-2 is the count, 1 out. What a great way to spend a Saturday night. I hope you're all enjoying the game. We appreciate that you're tuning in. And if you're listening and thinking about going to the game tomorrow, please do. Swing and a miss. Number 9 today for Sasha Koch. Oh, he's cooking.
Yeah, and greetings to everybody watching abroad. I mean, not just in Germany. You know, we always have like Wilson Lee's mother is always watching. Eric Brank's father is watching. Daniel Lampont's mother is watching normally. So Terry Joyce. So all these players.
Yeah, hi, moms and dads.
And we have the family of Sammy Steiger today in the park. So
very nice. Very special day. If you missed the outset, number 7 was retired. And that, of course, is number of the head coach, Max Schmidt. Sasha delivers. And a foul. It almost seems like Sasha's getting better as the game goes on, actually. It's not, his arm's not showing any sign of wear yet.
yeah, as I just said, it's not that many pitches for 6 innings. So
1-2 the count now on Cardoso. .389 average. Cardoso had a single in his last at bat, struck out in the first. Foul straight back. He was right on that one. Boy, oh boy. That might have gone a long way if he was right on. Because, you know, the speed of Sasha's pitches, all you need to do is get that bat on the ball. And it goes a mile. Sorry, a kilometer.
good.
They, you know, when in Rome.
Which is not that far compared to a mile.
It's farther than I can hit it. That's true, it isn't.
And you run only 100 meters, not a mile, so. In 40 minutes, what was it? What?
40 minutes. The 100-meter dash. We were talking about the 100-meter dash, and the Jamaican ladies, they took first to third, took all the medals in the 100-meter dash, and they made it in 10 seconds. And I said maybe they should bring someone down from the crowd, and you know, just to add some perspective. And I said if it was me, they made it in about 10 and a half seconds. I think it'd take me about 40 minutes or so, maybe a little shorter than that, to make the 100 meters. You know, just throw on a pair of jeans and. You got to run in whatever they bring you down in. Chopper to third base. Vidig grabs it, bobbles it. There's no play at first base. It was good of him to stop that. It was a very hard hit down to third. They call it the hot corner for a reason, of course. So, the runner on is Cardoso. That'll bring Llewellyn to the plate. He's the center fielder. And Llewellyn is hitting 451 on the season.
Not too bad.
No, not at all. These, as I said at the outset, Paderborn's got some really good hitters on the team. But Sasha is a really good pitcher. So these are really interesting matchups. Cardoso's going, but as we've seen earlier, he fouls it back. Maybe a mix-up on the signs or a hit and runs on, I'm not sure what it is, but just looking at the body language sometimes, you could tell that the guy, the hitter doesn't know that the guy's going to steal, so. And we'll see if he's going again. He's not. And he sends one into right field. That looks like it's going to be fair. But there's Langhorst.
Langhorst catches it.
Oh, pretty catch out there and right, and that ends the inning. We head to the top of the 7th inning. 6-0 is the score. Caps over the Untouchables. Welcome back to Bonn, where Sasha Koch, I'm going to steal the words out of Angela's mouth, has 72 pitches so far. And the Bonn Capitals, he's leading the Bonn Capitals towards a 6-0 lead right now at the top of the 7th inning as Bonn takes their at-bat. Wilson Lee's at-bat. Let's see, Wilson Lee, of course, hit a 3-run home run back in the 2nd inning. Delivery, it swings and misses. 0-1 is the count. The wind continues to do some funky things out there. Swirling around center. I see a Blue Jays jersey in the audience.
Yeah, that's Christoph.
That fan wins a free hamburger courtesy of Angela. She'll be happy to.
He wins a free hamburger? Why?
Oh, wait, I didn't inform you of this policy. Anybody in a... Well, I better
you mean
stop
everybody in a Blue Jays shirt?
I think it's a good idea.
So next time you come with your Blue Jays shirt?
But this is a great idea. I never thought of that. I could do it myself.
For those who do not know, Brent is Canadian.
Yeah, and they don't know I'm a Blue Jays fan at all, as Wilson Lee goes down on strikes as the sun peeks its way through the clouds. And that's one down. Yes, I'm Canadian and a huge, huge Blue Jays fan, but really just a baseball fan, and happy to be here, of course. Watching a very good game. I know the score is 6-0, but it seems tighter than that. And of course, no lead is a safe lead, as we found out last time we played the Untouchables.
Yeah, I mean, we have 10 hits so far by the Capitals and 3 hits by the Untouchables. And there you see the difference, right? I mean, the pitcher's difference.
Indeed, and Bonn's left a lot of runners on base. I mean, we saw it last inning as well. Twice with the bases loaded. Still, 6 runs in. Yeah, Max has just made the comment that third base is a really tough spot to be in right now. Same with left field and maybe even a bit of shortstop, as that sun is just beaming in on them. Maybe the Capitals called that in as a favor, the big guy upstairs, or we're waiting for
To us, come on, here.
and it just misses us. But down by the barbecue,
To the
don't
French fries.
Yeah,
Into
don't
the French fries.
do not hurt the barbecue or the French fry machine, please. That's our request, especially being a Bonn capital. Whatever you do, don't hurt the fries. Langhorst is a 256 average. Struck out in his last at bat, but sends this one in just in front of the center fielder Llewellyn for a single. So Bonn, after a strikeout by Wilson Lee, gets their runner on with a single. That brings up Nick Michelli, grounded at third base. His last at bat, but 2 singles previous to that, so he's 2 for 3 today. Now remember, the last time the Capitals were up, they didn't get their runners until there was 2 outs. Michelli, 314 average. Langhorst at first base. And that pitch is outside. 1-0. Little salsa music in the background.
Because Michelli, he's Portuguese. Portuguese American.
Okay. One and 0 is the count. 1 out. Throw over to first base. Nothing happening there. Not yet, anyway. Let's see what Langhorst does now. Not going. Jelly 1 foot out of the box. Looks down for the signs. Two over the count. Fans really into this game. It's great to see. And a hit out into center field. Llewellyn goes back. He camps under, and he's got it. Langhorst has got to go back to first. That's 2 out. So Michelli flies out, and that brings up the number 9 hitter, Eddie Stummel. Eddie Stummel had a single in his last at-bat and came around to score. Hit into a double play in the 4th and walked way back in the 2nd. That's tough for the outfielders right now. As we said, the sun right in their eyes. Except for right field, of course. But anyone on the left side of the diamond. And there he goes. And he's in. No problem. Langhorst takes second. That's bounced into second base. I think he got everybody by surprise running there, but why not? 2 out seems to be a pretty good number for the Bonn Capitals today. To get their runners advanced and get runners on. Kemp sets, 2 out delivery in the dirt. Long shadows. Little sun between home plate and pitchers in the shadows, so a bit hard to pick up the ball maybe. And Stummel sends it down to the shortstop. And no play for the shortstop. He was thinking about going to third, but whether he thought he couldn't make it or the third baseman wouldn't be there, I'm not sure. But I think he could have made it.
What's wrong with Martinez?
Not sure. I mean, could it be the sun? I don't know. I mean, he was heading in the opposite direction, but it looked like he could have made that play. Regardless, runners at the corner now with 2 out in a common story for the Bonn Capitals. And Eric Brink.
But they should capitalize out of it.
This comes up every week.
You know, @capitalize is one of our
yes.
Twitter
Indeed.
Addresses.
So Langhorst at third, Stummel at first. At the plate is the man you want to have right now, Eric Brink. That pitch comes in for a strike. Hit by pitch in the last at-bat 1 inning ago, and of course in the 4th, hit a great home run. Right over the longest part of the park. Big single down the third base line. That's a fair ball, and it goes down into the corner as the runners turn. So, 1 run scores. Here comes Stumble around third base. No throw. He scores. And the Bonn Capitals go out to an 8-0 lead on a 2 RBI double.
And the Capitals capitalize.
Oh, yes, by Eric Brank. Very nice hit down the third, just shy of that third base foul line. And Brank continuing to show why he won that Player of the Week award last week.
And again with 2 outs, right? I mean,
That's right. 2 outs seems to be the number here for the Caps. So, Brank today, a double, hit by pitch, home run, and a walk. As they say where I come from, not too shabby.
okay.
So scoring on that play was Langhorst and Stummel. Joe Vidic hit a single in his last at-bat. I'm sure he wants to get in on the scoring fun as well. He's got an opportunity now with Brank at second, 2 out. And he fouls that back. 8-0 the score here at the top of the seventh.
There.
You always park your car there, Angela. I don't understand this.
No, it's always at a different place, but you know they hit it so differently.
You know where I park? Way down the street.
Yeah, but I have to unload all my equipment here, so.
All right. I suppose that's a good reason. Down the first base line, that's foul. It's pretty close.
Was close.
So Wittig has an 0-2 count, 2 out, 8-0 the score. Wind blowing out. And directly towards center. Cowbell clanging. And again down the first base line. Just foul. Bonn Caps are liking those foul lines today. They've really, I mean, even that supposed home run slash foul ball that was hit was pretty close. Slash home run, says Max. Oh, and 2 the count. Kemp sets and delivers. Big hit, and
Again foul.
into the trees.
Too bad.
Yeah.
But Wittig is on it. He wants to get something going.
That's right. I mean, Kemp has had to make a few pitches since he's come on. I don't have the pitch count. I'm not sure maybe Max will find that. Delivery. And you guessed it, another foul ball. Wittig wants to make Kemp work. And he is doing that. I mean, really good at bat. 0-2 the count, 2 out. Let's see if he can keep the momentum going
Kemp
on this
has
2 out.
65 pitches,
Yes.
around 65.
Yeah, so getting that total up. And this one's fair to the second baseman. On to first base, and that'll end the inning. So, key double by Eric Brank to drive home a couple of runs, and the score is 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the seventh here on Caps TV. We'll be right back.
Das ist Mia. Mia hat zu Hause einen richtig schönen Designboden, der aber auch leider oberflächige Schäden und tiefe Kratzer aufweist. Dr. Schütz hat dafür die Lösung mit Produkten für die Reinigung und Pflege, wie das Designboden Pflegeset und um tiefe Kratzer zu beseitigen, das Scratch Fix Repair Set. Und damit Mia genau weiß, wie man ihre Böden zu Hause perfekt pflegt und schützt, gibt es unsere Tutorials auf dem Dr. Schütz YouTube-Channel. Für Mia und euch alle. Damit muss sich Mia nicht mehr um ihre Böden sorgen, sondern kann ganz beruhigt unsere Caps anfeuern. Go Caps! Das ist Mia.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Bonn, where the score is 8-0 in favor of the Bonn Capitals over the Untouchables. Sasha Koch is still on the mound, and while he's really, it's impressive. He's only at 70 pitches. So he's really clipping along. My last count, unless I'm incorrect, I counted 8 strikeouts so far.
Actually, let's see.
Yeah, let's get a firm number on that. Let's not cheat him of any.
It's
8. Okay. He's pitched a very good game so far. Number 2, Christian Byers from South Africa is at the plate, and a big hit into center field. But Joyce is there.
Easy going.
That makes it look so easy. Nicely played. And Byers is down. That'll bring up Maurice Bendrin. He has struck out, and he's either that's a K or an 8 on my scorecard. So, this is, yeah, as I said, Bendrian. So Bendrian's averages 327 on the season. So, Angela, you want to do some trivia?
Yeah, okay, of course.
All right, of course you do.
If Brent asks to do a trivia,
So-
of course, I'm so keen to do that.
I got an easy one for you today.
Okay. Oh, you had one already. The Jamaican ladies winning the 100 meters.
Yeah, it's like a double feature today.
Okay.
So 1-0 is the count now. What year was the first World Series played? And it's 4 choices. All right. Was it 1867, 1903, 1910, or 1492? What? I'll say them again.
Yeah, say it again.
First World Series, when was it played? 1867, 1903, 1910, or 1492?
1903.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks in a row. Angela.
Yeah, it's I was just born at that time, so I can remember.
Very well played. So, I'll just read this quick note that I have. Although there were other postseason championships that took place as early as 1884, the World Series was not established until, as Angela says, 1903, the year that the feuding National League and American League, who had come to battle each other for several years over players, decided, blah, blah, blah.
And
They
so
came together and
who
they...
won that?
All right, so
first
it was
series.
the Boston Pilgrims and Pittsburgh Pirates who played. The Pilgrims won in eight games, making them the first modern World Series champions. And that one is fouled back here at this game. 1-2 is the count.
They hit a lot of balls out of the park. I mean, not
Yeah.
home runs, but foul balls. That's an expensive thing for our...
It really is. And the children who get those balls, they're all tired. And they'll sleep
yeah,
well tonight,
and
so
some of
that's
the balls
important.
are even outside the fences. I mean, the foul area fences, so they can't get them.
That's right. And he strikes him out. There was another delayed strikeout call there by the umpire, but he strikes him out. That's number 9 for Sasha today. 2 out in the inning. Wow, he's looking good today.
Maurice Bendrin was not delighted with that call, but
No.
what can you do?
No, that's just sort of spreads it out a bit. I know Bonn also had some questions over, I think, when Terrell Joyce was at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finn Bergman now for the Untouchables.
Same pitch.
Yeah, same pitch. 1-0 is the count. Umpiring is one of those jobs that I'm glad I don't have. A friend of mine, he's actually coming to Bonn a couple months' time. He's coming to an umpiring school, and I really, what do you do at an umpiring school? Do people just come and yell at you for an hour? It's a thankless job, but we're glad they're here. It's
Absolutely.
absolutely, and it's tough. And that ball is sent in between right and center as Lankhorst grabs that ball in front of Joyce. It just fell between them.
I think it's second hit of Bergman, right?
Yeah, so Bergman had a hit in his last at-bat. That's 2 singles in a row now for him. I'll bring up Ramelman. He's the DH today. Yeah, now he got on because of a fielder's choice when Bergman got thrown out at second base when he was at bat.
Those are the only 2 hits, each 2.
Oh, and another single down into right field. Lankhorst picks it up quickly, fires that into second base. He wanted that.
Sorry, what's that again? Only Cardozo and Bergman and no Ramaman have each 2 hits, except Ramaman.
Okay, so Cardoso and Berkman and Remelman now are the only ones who have had hits in this game. I believe 2 hits each. So Bergman at second, Remelman at first base, and Eberhardt at the plate. This is the bottom of the Untouchables
inning.
order. Yeah, of the order, and they have not done anything at the plate, either of these two players today. We'll see if that changes, of course. In the 5th inning, Eberhardt grounded out to the third baseman. He struck out in the 3rd. Reinhardt's at-bats sort of mirror that. He's the number 9 hitter coming up next.
I think it's the first time that they have 2 runners on bases, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Healthy leads by both. There's 2 outs, though, and Sasha gets a strike on that.
Looks like it's raining. I think it's raining.
Perhaps. Told it might be raining a little bit. I don't see any umbrellas
We
out.
have both. We have sun and little.
It's like an old
Some
James
drops.
Taylor song. So 1-2 the count now. Sasha's got him on the ropes. See if he can finish him off. 8-0 the score. Bottom of the 7th inning. Capitals obviously hoping to take game 1 of this semifinal series. They know they're going to be in tough tomorrow against Angel Duno, who's going to be pitching for, we assume he's going to be pitching for the Untouchables. So they'll have to bring their A game, an A game like they showed today, really, tomorrow. And this game is by far not over yet. Two with 2 out. Sasha sets and delivers. And doesn't get that call. It was close.
Yeah, for me it was a strikeout, but okay. We don't talk about the umpire anymore. So
No, as we say, it's a tough job. Glad they're there to do it.
it's a tough job.
Full count now.
It's a tough job also for the batters because they really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard for consistency's sake, for sure. So Eberhardt has full count on him. Key pitch now for him. Runners go. Strikes him out. Sasha says, thank you very much. I'm going back to the dugout. We're going to the top of the 8th. It's 8-0. Capitals over the Untouchables. We'll be right back on Caps TV. Welcome back to Bonn, to the dulcet tones of the Ramones. Vinny Aarons is at bat. Still looking for his first hit. Join the rest of the Bonn Capitals. They've all managed to get a hit today. Been on base anyway. I know he'd love to get on, add to this lead. Oh, and 1, the count. The count. So, Angela is going to tell me about this pitching change that we have.
This is Niklas Göbert pitching now.
Good.
I think we have some statistics about him.
Our team is on it.
Of course.
And a chopper down to first base. And there's 1 down now in the inning. That silence is us scanning. In any case, up to the plate comes Terrell Joyce. Terrell Joyce reached on an error. Shortstop Martinez in this last at-bat walked, struck out, and got a single. So Nicholas Gubitz has pitched 8 innings this season. 7 hits, 2 runs. Let's get to the good stuff. He's got a 2.16 ERA and he struck out 12. So he's, he can, no records, no wins, no losses. Looks like he comes in on relief, as we see today. Well, let's see what he can do. Matt Kemp, he had to have thrown close to 70 or more pitches, I would think.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
68. 68 was the total number of pitches, so I was 2 off. Yeah, so he gave up, obviously. So I think he came on that there were 4 runs that here goes this Canadian math. So let's just say he's responsible for 4 runs. Crying out loud.
Never let Brent count.
No, forget it.
He's a writer.
I'm a writer.
Not a counter.
I'm a lover, not a counter. Whoa, that's coming close.
Oh, yeah, it's in. Oh, no, it's not. Almost in here.
Oh, my goodness.
You could have catched it, Marlene.
It was almost in. This is a very dangerous job, ladies and gentlemen, but we do it for love of the game.
Absolutely. No risk, no fun.
Terrell Joyce. We do it for the burgers. And strikes out Terrell Joyce. And
sorry,
Joyce
guys. I mean, this is ridiculous.
All right, for the second time today, Joyce has some questions over the strike. So again, you have to register online if you want to come. There are some tickets left, so do try and get those. It looks like he said that hit Daniel Lamb Hunt. It was awful close, that's for sure. And he goes down to first base. So again, 2 out. Bonds decides, well, we better get some runners on.
Yeah.
Daniel Lamb Hunt goes down to first base. 2 out. That'll bring up Wilson Lee. He struck out in his last at bat. Grounded into a double play.
Yeah,
previous to that.
Wilson needs to do something.
Well, he did something back in the second, of course.
I know,
nice
but
big home run.
It's about time to do something again.
We're just never satisfied up here.
No, of course not.
No, we love to see Wilson Lee hit, of course. Always a team leader. And that comes in for a, let's roll the dice. Oh, it's a ball. 1-1. 2 out. Lamb Hunt takes his lead at first. On a chopper, down to the pitcher. Throws it over to first, and that'll end the inning. 8-0 the score. Head to the bottom of the 8th. as I look at the scoreboard in the sun. Right here on Caps TV. We'll be right back.
Ja, ich glaube, wir müssen von Spiel zu Spiel schauen. Ich glaube, wir werden uns von Spiel zu Spiel steigern.
Nächstes Spiel angreifen. Wir haben noch ein Riesenspiel, jetzt erstmal wieder am Freitag vor der Brust.
Es ist am Samstag ein schweres Spiel.
Und Sonntag geht's weiter.
Es ist nur ein Spiel. Was danach kommt, das wird man sehen.
Egal, was danach kommt, wir zeigen es live. Mit allen Spielen der dritten Liga, der Penny DEL und der Easy Credit BBL. Nur bei Magenta Sport.
Welcome back to the beautiful banks of the Rhine, with the sun just behind us, casting nice light out into left field on the left side of this field. 8-0 is the score. Capitals over the Untouchables, bottom of the 8th inning. And that comes in for a strike with new pitcher for Bonn, Sammy Steigert. Now, he has an .85 ERA. 21 innings pitched this year. Chopper, he takes that one himself back to first. Looks like he wanted to go all the way with that, but he flips underhand to Daniel Lamhund, and that's one down.
Yeah, Sammy is this sidearm pitcher where, I mean, when he gets into the strike zone, it's very difficult for some hitters to get to use. I mean, they're not used to that, you know, so
Right.
it's difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to pick that up sometimes. I remember some great sidearm delivery guys from the MLB when I was young. Doyle Alexander of the Blue Jays, Dan Quisenberry, I think he pitched for the Royals. There's been many, many since, and there still are. But it's definitely a unique delivery, and players have to pick that ball up. It's tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't say anything anymore. We just
I
take it.
highly doubt that.
We just take it.
Well, no. So the count is 0-1. And single into right field. And Lancourse picks that up. It looked like he wanted to throw that into first base. He's really aggressive out there in the field, as he should be, and credit to him.
He's a good thrower.
I love watching
his
that.
throws are very good.
Yeah, so Lamb Hunt just wasn't at first base to take that throw, but he could have made it close maybe. And that brings up, we've got Marco Cardoso. Want to know his count? 1 out, 8-0 Bonn, bottom of the 8th. Cardoso has singled a few times today, and he hits one into right, and he's got to go back. That's a pretty good hit, and that's gone.
Yeah.
There goes the shutout. So Steiger comes on and gives up a 2-run home run, and the score is now 8-2. But that ball hung up in the air a long time. No wind. It's carried out. So Cardoso, 2-run home run. Cuts the lead to 6, and that'll bring up Fildrik Llewellyn, center fielder. Llewellyn has flown out to right field, struck out twice. He's 0 for 3 today. Yeah, he gets a strike called against him. Now, Lankhorst has been hustling all game out there in right field. There's nothing he could do about that one.
Nope.
2-1 the count. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. 8-0. Sorry, 8-2. I've been saying 8-0 for so long. And another one into right field is late on that one. It's going foul. Will Lankhorst get there? No, but he hustles over. Lankhorst gives his all every time he's out there. Good example for kids to watch if they're in the stands today or you're watching online. I hope it's something they're teaching at the Bonn Capitals camp, the one they have for kids here. I'm sure it is. Foul back. Two and two the count, 1 out. Llewellyn hits another one foul.
Yeah, there are a lot of balls going out.
Yes. It's unique to today's game, it seems. Steiger. Chop down to third. Vidic grabs it. Double clutches and on to first. Right on the money.
So Vidic did something about his throwing compared to last week.
Definitely.
That's very straight to the point.
Yeah. I'd say you're definitely right on that. Focusing a bit more before. It takes a little more time before the throw. He's not rushing it.
Yeah.
So 2 out. Llewellyn's done. That'll bring up Christian Byers. Flew out. Struck out. Forced out at second. Way back in the second. And you guessed it, a foul. Christian Byers from South Africa. 328 average. Couldn't hit that one. Two one is the count. 2 out. Jams him on that. Fouls it back all the same. I'm sure Steiger would love to get out of this inning. He's still got that that home run in the back of his mind. Sure, nobody likes to come into the game and give up a home run, but things happen. Still have us a 6-run lead. Very healthy lead with an inning left. If they get through this one, of course. Sidearm delivery, swing and a miss. He strikes him out, and that'll end the inning. Not before a 2-run homer by Marco Cardoso to make the score 8-2. Head to the top of the 9th here in Bonn. We'll be right back on Caps TV. Well, welcome back to Bonn. 8-2 is the score. Top of the 9th inning, Bonn at bat. And Langhorst, Michelli, and Stummel will come to the plate in this inning. Bonn hoping to maybe add a few insurance runs on after giving 2 up in the previous inning. That home run by Cardoso. Foul back. Lots of fouls here today. Lots down the line.
Okay. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, 1-1 the count. I was waiting for that scoreboard to change. Hold on a second, because there's something I got to check. I know that everybody is waiting for the score, the final score of that Doran Wild Farmers game.
Yes, why?
Angela.
I know it already.
So it says Ausguf on the scoreboard. It got canceled.
Probably raining up there.
Yeah. So no update for that game now.
I mean, we are lucky it was supposed to rain. And tomorrow
Yes.
it's supposed to rain. But
Swing and a miss. And
so let's see. Hopefully it does not rain tomorrow.
yeah, Langhorst is down, and yes, we hope there's no rain, obviously. And I didn't bring up the rain this time, Angela. You did. I just wanted to point that out. Langhorst goes down on strikes. That brings up Michelli. So if it's jinx tomorrow and it rains, it's Angela's fault. Michelli has flown
Of
out.
course it's Brent's fault. I mean,
Flew out to center
no doubt
field.
about that. Okay, I leave it out.
And the 60 grounded out to the third baseman. Singled in his previous 2 at-bats to that. And so 1-0.
Nice
And
hit
a
into the gap.
nice hit to the fence for Michelli. He rounds first and he rolls into second, smooth as silk, with a double. So he's got 2 singles and a double today. Nice game from Nick Michelli. Bring Eddie Stummel to the plate, who's in his previous 2 at-bats, he's got 2 singles. So he's on a bit of a roll as well.
Yeah, so Nick Michelli wanted to show that he's the right DH. He did that last weekend as well. His
Yeah.
first 3 times that he's the DH. So
Yeah, and so for the bottom of the order, that's impressive. Not, again, casting aspersions on the bottom of the order at all, but you usually don't always get production throughout the order in an average game. Let's put it that way, but the Capitals are not your average team. I hope I saved it there. That pitch is inside into the dirt. Number 42 in the box. Michelli dancing around second. And that pitch comes in for a strike. 1-1. Nobody's covering Michelli out at second. I think he'd probably walk to third at this point. And that's called a strike as well. Not a lot of velocity on these pitches. That was not a fastball, of course, but noted. Crowd into it, 1 out. Swing and a miss by Stummel, and he goes down on strikes. Turns the order over to the hot-hitting Eric Brink. Brink, double in his last at-bat. Hit by pitch getting on base in the 6th. Home run in the 4th. And a walk in the 2nd. In the 1st, he flew to the shortstop. What happened there? Just kidding, of course. Player of the week, and for good reason.
actually, we had him in our press release, and I stated his quote with, "Okay, let's do it again."
Yeah, exactly.
He said after I talked to him about his Player of the Week award. So.
He's backing up his words too. Foul back. That's a team leader, though. I mean, that's what you want from your leadoff hitter. You want your leadoff hitter to get on base. Well, Job done. He's been on base 4 out of his 5 at-bats. And, well, home run, he didn't stay on the base, of course. That's a strike. 1 and 2. 2 out. Michelli looks behind him to see who's covering him. There's nobody. Into the Untouchables dugout. Foul ball. Gobert, the pitcher for the Untouchables, hasn't done a bad job since he's come in. Just got that strikeout on Stummel. Pitch. Woo, there's a little close. I wonder if Brent liked the smell of that one. A little close for comfort. And a pitch high and outside. So, count is now full. 2 out. All things a go on this pitch. It's back at second. No coverage on Michelli. Foul back.
Almost hit the kid. He wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so kids are out there on the diamond, and it's
on the
always
other field,
good.
and yeah, so
it's always good to be paying attention. Foul balls, because especially today, as there's been a plethora of foul balls. And Brent tries to dance that one out, but the umpire calls.
But that's the inside calls of this umpire. So.
Indeed. So we go to the bottom of the ninth. This is the last chance for the Untouchables to get some runs, and the score is 8-2. We'll be right back on Caps TV. Welcome back to Bonn for the bottom of the ninth inning. 8-2 is the score. Capitals over the Untouchables. Last crack for the Untouchables. Bendry, Bergman and Rammelman will come up to the plate. Again, Sammy Steigert.
Yeah, still Sammy Steigert on the mound.
Gave up 2-run home run to make it 8-2 in the last inning. I'm sure he won't be thinking about that one tonight. And the reason I say that is because he just doesn't give up a lot of hits. And so, you tend to remember the few that you give up, I suppose. 0-1 is the count. Or perhaps it's like water off a duck's back. Just moves on. Sidearm delivery hit out into right center. Who's got it?
Danny Lancourt.
Lancourt, of course, has it. He's been hustling out there all day. Love that hustle. 1 out. Finn Bergman now to the plate. He's singled twice. He's one of the only, well, obviously, the Untouchables don't have a lot of hits, but he's got 2 of them. Foul ball. All children, heads up. It's at least 5 kids running after that ball. Wish I had that reaction when I asked my kids to do something at home. Yes, Father, we will all go quickly to do it. It never happens. Maybe I should just throw a baseball in the direction of the task to be done. Foul on the other side. 1-2 is the count. 1 out. We'll be here again tomorrow. 1 o'clock we start. Please tune in. Always enjoy having you listen or watch. One and 2, 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. Do we know who's pitching tomorrow yet, Angela?
For us?
Yeah.
Marcus Jensen.
Jensen on the mound. Okay, chopper down to third. Vidic picks it up, throws on to first. I didn't have much of a chance on that one. Good try, though. He had to really hurry in.
Yeah, it was too slow.
Yeah,
I mean, he had to run against it, so.
Lamb Hunt tries to convince the umpire that that he stepped off the bag to tag him out. Some chuckles there, and umpire's not going for it. So 1 out, 1 on. Rummelman is on. Up, sorry. He's singled twice. Again, not many hits, but he and Bergman, again, Bergman's on. Got 3 hits today.
Yeah.
He's having a good game. So he and Rummelman, the only ones hitting on the team.
Yeah, and about tomorrow, I mean, tomorrow, I guess that Marcus Jensen will start, and then it depends on how the game is running, how many pitchers he will bring, because if we have a third game, you have to save some pitchers.
That's right. And right up the middle, through for a base hit. And the Untouchable showing some life now in the bottom of the 9th. As Rummelman is on. That's his 3rd hit of the game as well. So 6 and 7 hitters are producing the hits for the Untouchables today. So Bergman at second, Rummelman on first. That brings Eberhardt to the plate, who is goose eggs today. Struck out, grounded out to the third baseman, struck out in the first. 8 and 9 hitters are in it tough for the Untouchables today. We'll see. Every bat a new one. .192 hitter. That's his average. Eberhardt. He's the left fielder. And a high pop-up. Who's got it? It's into shallow. Center field. In comes Joyce. Running. Runner goes to third. But as the guy at first base was heading into second, got him at second base. So there's 2 out is the bottom line. Runners on the corners. Bergman is at third. Rummelman is the one who got thrown out at second. And Eberhardt is on first base. This brings up the number 9 hitter, Reinhardt. Saget hoping to close things out. And right back to Saget on to first base. And that's your ball game. Caps win.
The ball game.
They win game 1 of this semi-final game against the Untouchables of Paderborn, 8-2. Some very good pitching today by Sascha Koch. And so what was the final strikeout? I think it was 9 that he got?
10 strikeouts.
10 strikeouts. So very good game by Sascha Koch. And we, of course, saw some very hot hitting by, again, player of the week last week, Eric Brink. We saw home run by Wilson Lee, a 3-run home run. And overall, a very interesting game and one that moved along.
Yeah, and just remember tomorrow at 1 o'clock, game number 2. If there has to be a third game, it will be immediately after that. So, but the first game tomorrow is at 1 o'clock. There are some tickets left, so you can come just to the entrance and try to get a seat. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And on behalf of course, Angela Backman and Max Paulus, and everybody who helps us out here at the game, thank you very much. And we will talk to you tomorrow. The final score here in Bonn is 8-2 for the Caps over the Untouchables. See you tomorrow, everyone.